me and Mo did the draft show, and I just had this epiphany about this being the Attitude Era. And for those who don't know what the Attitude Era is, y'all see my belt back here. Y'all, for those that are always here, y'all know I love football. I'm sorry, I love the WWE. I love the old school wrestling, etc. The Attitude Era was the era after the new generation. It ushered in a more physical, in-your-face type of pro wrestling, because they were competing with the WCW, who was more realistic, more in-your-face, more edgy, and WWF needed to compete with that. So they had a guy, Stone Cold, give me a hell yeah, ushered that era in. And I am now going to compare Micah to Stone Cold. Like, Micah is the guy last year that started that, but Stone Cold couldn't do it by himself. He needed others. He needed a Generation X, right? And I think this crop of guys could be the Generation X of the draft, of the Cowboys draft at the very least. You got Tyler Smith. Listen to this quote from Tyler Smith. My job as an offensive lineman is to set the tone and protect the quarterback. That dude across from me, his job is to hit my quarterback and try to blow up what we're doing. So every time I live up from somebody or I line up from somebody, I play with the mindset that they're going to try to take food out my mouth. They're trying to take food out my teammates' mouths. I want to make them think twice about getting up when they go against me. You love to hear that. You love to hear that. Even Jalen Tolbert, believe it or not, has some of that attitude to him. Jalen Tolbert, if you read around and you listen around, he's an alpha dog. He's a leader. He embraces being the underdog. Has a bit of that, I'm that dude type of mentality that just might rub a couple people the wrong way. And so what? He might push a couple people and piss a couple people off in that locker room. And honestly, I'm cool with that. Then you have D. Williams. Now, Sam Williams is what we knew him by, but apparently he wants to be called D. Williams. So I'll try to, remember that. D. Williams is his name, a.k.a. Sam Williams. This is what he had to say about who he is. I'm relentless. I'm a beast. I'm a dog. I love the game. I study the game. They're going to get a player that wants to play, wants to win, wants to do his job, wants to go over and beyond. Now, off-field stuff, we could talk about that. Maybe we'll dive into that. We'll see. But I love to hear that type of mentality. The kid seems to have grown up. Now, the X's and O's and the traits and things like that, we know a lot of these players got some growing to do as a football player. But from a mental standpoint, it sounds like a lot of these guys want to be the best. They want to get after it. They want to go above and beyond. Even Damone Clark, an NFL scout, told Dane Brugler, the LSU staff says he's the most driven guy on the roster. He lived in the facility. Now, he's a guy that's not going to play in 2022. I know Steven said he has a shot, but they'd be fools to do that. In round 5, I think this is where you take those type of risks, guy. You don't do it in round 2, Jalen Smith. You do it in round 5. Okay, so I have no problem with this pick because he's a day 2 player with a massive upside and ridiculous value in round 5. But to hear that he's a guy that's the most driven guy on the roster and he lived in the facility, you love to hear that. Oh, and then you got my favorite. Big Country John Ridgeway. Listening to his interview live, man, really fired me up for this crop of players. Just the players. I understand we could look around who else was on the board and things like that, but these are our guys now, so we're talking about our guys. If you thought I played with an edge then, wait till I get in the league. I'm definitely going to try and break someone's neck every play, but if I can't, I'll hit someone really hard. Attitude and athleticism. It's clear as day. That's what the Cowboys are going for. They want to be more physical. They want to be more tough. They saw how they got their ass whooped last year. They saw Debo come out with that boom box, and everybody else was a little bit nervous. You can't have that. And the only way to change that culture is to bring in those type of guys.